Hello, hello. Sick, dude. Alright. What's up, you guys? I am back again. This time around, picked up a little microphone set because last time I found the audio was terrible, which is funny for someone who went to school for sound engineering. So hopefully these help out and make a big difference. But sitting in the 4Runner here and got this body pretty much ready to be removed. Took the doors off. Tailgate, as you can see, is off. Someone's grabbing that for me, hopefully tomorrow. And body bolts are out. Basically steering column was the only thing that needed to actually be removed before this could come off. Probably use a forklift, maybe a skid loader. We'll see which one works better. You'll probably also see. Get this thing lifted off and hopefully moved into the shop pretty soon. Get those two frames lined up next to each other and basically try and make this frame match that frame. Get the camper mounted on. Probably have to fab up some body mounts to weld onto this frame. Try and line up the cab compared to the front, 6 probably body mounts for this frame. And then, God, it'll be a lot of wiring for a 22 RE compared to the 20R. Get the inside built, inside of the camper built, and then she'll be rolling. To sum that up in, 2 sentences. So, okay, another day, back at it. Big day, hopefully. Gonna try and get the body off of this thing right now. I've got the forklift set up with the extensions on it and a strap hooked up on the back part of this thing. So plans to go through door frame area and then loop this strap over the other fork. Looks like it'll be decently level. Hopefully lift it up and off, so let's see if we can make it happen. Damn, these mosquitoes are insane. And this thing's just gonna fucking roll, isn't it? That'll work. Sick. Alright guys, so here's another look at the frame of this 4Runner without the body mounted on it. The whole frame, as you can see, has been sandblasted and painted. The original owner had all new Old Man Emu suspension mounted all the way around, and that is including new leaf springs in the rear and torsion bars up front, which would be super nice. As well, there's a whole new gas tank mounted back there with a new sending unit, and that will be a big upgrade from the 10-gallon tank that is currently sitting on the Chinook. These are 17 gallons. And then here's another look at the new Yoda 1 22RE that has been mated up to a rebuilt W56. This will be nice because it takes care of the 4-wheel drive conversion that I wanted to do anyways. And then here is just another look at the rear end, the new suspension, and my blown diff. Okay, before I go in, chug away at the rest of the camper before it gets dark here. A little bit of story time for this thing. Found it I live in southeast Wisconsin, just outside Milwaukee area. Found this thing in central Illinois, kind of on the east side of the state. And it had been for sale in southern Illinois. Someone bought it. They realized that restoring it to a 4Runner was too much of a project, so they listed it. I was really sad when it sold the first time around. 2 months later, it popped back up on Marketplace, and I had to get it. Ended up talking with the dude, going down there. I had my Tacoma over here, might be out of frame now, but you saw it in those previous clips. My dad came with me. He has a Suburban, and we rented a dolly. So he drove that, pulling this thing home. I had the crazy amount of parts loaded up in the back of my truck. We went and picked this thing up, driving it home. God, insane. We got 2 miles up the road from this guy's house, and my dad's in front, I'm behind him, and the rear wheels locked up, and this thing is skidding, and we immediately pull over, just kind of like, what is going on? Why did that happen? Bit of shock, honestly, right? I had my little socket set I kind of just carry around everywhere here, easy to use, it's got everything I need. And I pull the drain plug from the rear diff, and there's nothing inside of it. It is bone dry, empty, which was crazy to me. This was basically a project for a guy, I don't know, kind of as you can tell. Took the whole body off, took everything apart, stripped the frame, had everything sandblasted, had it all painted. He rebuilt the axles, brand new engine, as I showed you before. Transmission's brand new. And in my head, I just assumed that the rear diff had fluid in it, but apparently they left it dry. So we did not make it far. You know, we pulled out of this guy's street, and it was, I think, a 45 or 55 mile an hour street. And as soon as it got up to that speed and the diff got hot, it just blew up. So we're stuck on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, Illinois. We got it towed to I think it was a Love's truck stop off the freeway. We kind of sat there trying to figure out, do we get this thing towed home? Do we, instead of using a dolly, try and find a trailer from a local U-Haul? But if we do that, how do we get the thing on the trailer? Because we don't have a winch. You know, my dad and I are not gonna push this thing up onto a trailer. So we tried to see if we could find someone to tow it home, which didn't work out because that turned out to be, you know, I think this was a Friday. It was a Friday or a Saturday we were doing this, and we were kind of getting bids for Monday I can do it for $800. You know, Sunday I can do it for $600. Like, that is not worth it. We ended up sitting in this parking lot, taking the whole rear diff apart, pulled it out. I think it's the pinion ring, it's the big one. We just completely removed that so that the diff and the axles could spin. Put the axles back in. There was an Advanced Auto Parts, I think, right up the road. Drove up there, got a tube of sealant for the diff, got diff fluid, filled it back up, and took it up the road, you know, 60 miles an hour from central Illinois to right around here, which was a 3-hour drive. And it made it. That was a hell of an experience. Curveball, was not expecting. You know, did my due diligence and researched driving a 4-wheel / rear-wheel drive vehicle home on a dolly, and we removed the drive shaft so that it wouldn't ruin the tranny in any form. And lo and behold, it still bit me in the ass. Thank God for this silly, cheap little socket set and some screwdrivers and the Advanced Auto Parts that was 1.5 miles away from us. We got it home. And granted, I had a brand new rebuilt locking diff. It's gonna get rebuilt again, but it's a great story.